I'll open this video with a version of me vaguely explaining the concept of the creation when it came to mind October 16th. You could say the moment where the train of thought boarded the rails, left the station,
departed, driving towards some destination.
It can be a shorter video called Train of Thought, going through each of the SD cards, like just this one, make this like the first video if it's like 10 or 20 minutes, and just like train of thought, like try to tie it all together.
I don't know if you can, there's a little train over there. That's why I wanted to film it this spot. And since the idea was kind of to make a little show, then I think it's a natural next step to then realize that I could use a song that I haven't released yet, made September 1st, to have it be
Reinvented as a theme song.
My train of thought never rides along the path, and I'm trying to get my life on the right side of the track. I'm mastermind.
Also, I made that visual graphic while I was at work. More on that later, because after a theme song plays in the show, usually the show starts to begin at the point where it actually introduces what's going on. So let's go ahead and start to the first video of the SD card, September 14th. I remember it like it was just about a month or so ago.
I don't even remember what's the start of this card, but it could be a creative.
Well, October 16th, me, I was just about to play it. Are you still thinking out the idea?
Make it be cohesive, whatever like the storyline is, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying my best. You're the one now interrupting it, making it less.
I just wanted to say, I think the video doesn't really have to be like in chronological. I think I can kind of like sketch.
Okay, that looks like another clip from October 17th now interrupting, and I'll get to you guys later, okay? Just calm down. Let's go ahead and go to the first video on the SD card, September 14th, okay? We're bringing it back to the beginning of this, all right? Also, to set up this clip a little bit more, in my head, I'm thinking that I'm about to kind of play a little character that I sort of invented. I don't know.
It'll make more sense as the video goes along.
But I just kind of want to play it. What's a hockey shoe? And it's Fazaki Lou. So I have all these sort of random recyclings that I've gathered throughout past months or so with the intention of making a sculpture out of it. But I haven't yet, so I figure I might as well maybe jump on it. And I guess I thought that I would try to make something like really unique and cool, which I can still do that, but I think I'm realizing I can just do like a character thing. So yeah, it was a little like sculpture project that I thought was going to be for the Fazaki Lou YouTube channel, because I had made a sculpture on there before, so I thought I could try to make it like my brand and lean into that channel, but obviously I realized that I wanted to kind of reframe it in the context of this. Also, nice little Amazon promotion. I felt like it was pretty symbolic to my 6 months last year working delivering for them. Thankfully that's not my job anymore. Again, we'll get to that later. But actually the sculpture idea had been months in the making. Here's visual representation of what it was used for.
Hey dude, I'm not crazy or anything, right?
I don't think so.
Good, that's what I was thinking.
I mean,
what do you think?
Well, I can only say what you told me.
Since I showed the end of the project, now let's go to the very start of the idea. It was 3 months before, July 15th, when I was collecting most of the pieces for it. So basically, so the story goes, I was chilling at one of my top 10 nature spots and noticed that some new litter had appeared, adding some trash seasoning to the once clear sands, which made me think that these people could have made a quick trip to dispose of the items, but maybe they had to leave fast to a doctor appointment. Maybe someone in the group was flip-flopping over what they should do with the items. And then someone there said, can it? There have to be people to pick this up. The other person said, okay, hope they make a bag doing it. And then my thoughts broke into the story as I realized that this is sort of a secret spot. I don't think any service is going to pick this up unless it's me. So I got to rocking and rolling, kind of just went scavenge mode on that beach. And I mean, of course, I don't agree with those people's actions, but I can at least thank them for conveniently leaving a bag for me to help. First, I had to shake off the residue of people who think it's okay to litter, so I didn't catch it. And I knew I had hand sanitizer in the car, so I did what needed to be done, which is just kind of collecting the grubbins, adding it to my inventory. Here's a little POV if you were litter, more like lid, or because it was lid. Sorry, that was so dumb. Anyway, I just kept gathering, like little berries from the vine, just like my ancestors. I started collecting the flip-flops, but then I sort of realized, what if they come back looking for those specific sandals because they held some special value to them, and then what if they track me down? So I just kind of left them be. So I just kept collecting the other items that surely nobody would go seeking out for, and then I got them all. Also, there was this little, like, a fishing sinker's plastic thing that ended up being the mouth contraption. Not really a spoiler, since I guess I already showed the completed item. And I guess, the smart water didn't really work on the litterers, because, they still left it, it didn't give them enough brain cells to know that it's not good to leave litter. Regardless, it was time for me to walk back down the park path that I diverted from, and then go back to my car and drive home, and then give the little litter, a nice little bubble bath. What can I say? I'm a bath boy, and I like to treat my objects the way that I like to be treated. Except then I sort sort of set the clean, dirty items on the shelf where they resided for about 2 months until I started taping them together. And also videotaping for this little SD card. It was the first video of the card. Here we are, a nice little full circle moment, not that far into the video. But anyway, let's go ahead and get back into the... Alright, so now that the storyline is all caught up back to the first videos on this SD card, and now that I've built all up this tension, let's go ahead and see if past me had his thoughts organized. Now he's busting out the old voice memo recorder, so he must have some really important ideas to document, I'm sure. So here we go. It's just... That's okay, think it out, walk around a little bit, get the thoughts moving. Alright, here we go. And now we're ready.
It's just seemed to feel lately.
I'm listening. What does it feel like?
So many different things that I'd like to work on that I kind of keep jumping back and forth between.
I mean, that does hold true. I do always jump back and forth between train carts, so to speak, to keep the theme of this going. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to a new day. September 17th, I was painting some little abstract shapes. That ended up, it's not even really done quite yet, but I did add more to that painting. Let's go ahead and go to...
Oh, this is a good angle.
And also, I want to add at this point that I think I'm going to add some sporadic clips of nature from later on in the card and kind of shuffle out the order a little bit. It's more like mid-October thinking out the ideas and just random talking points. I just want to spice it up a little bit since I noticed that a lot of the videos were just of me inside, so I want to be able to, keep this engaging and such.
It'll still be mostly chronological, and I'll
still narrate parts in here and there, but I think not as much. I kind of want the videos to speak for themselves, and it might slightly derail at times, but don't worry, you will arrive at your destination safely. Also, I think this clip of me driving for an extended period of time is kind of symbolic to the train of thought. I don't want the ideas that I do to be about the ideas, I don't know, sometimes I feel like my content is always it always gets weirdly meta and self-referential, because all I know is all I know, so to speak. So let's go ahead and go to September 19th now, recording this little Roblox song that I thought was a funny idea. No, I'm not sure.
I'm Roblox, if you need something unlocked, also I'm not Roblox. I won't change my name cause I had it first.
Next day after that, September 20th, recorded this song that I remember I deleted a couple minutes after posting to TikTok since I got too self-conscious, but now I'm realizing I might as well add it to this. It's just, my natural singing voice. Well, here's me practicing the song. Oh wait. Through the passions. And then now here's the unofficial final version of it. There's no pitch correction or anything. That's why it's pretty bad, but I'll go ahead and play it. It all blurs fast, but I go slow on my back road. And all of the trees we've seen the path unfolds. And hoping and I can open me and some good eggs, cracking jokes, pushing buttons, mixing beakers on the flat. Like the old saying, creations are never finished, just abandoned. And I left that one, because I guess I can chop back and forth between what takes of it. Oh, you can kind of see the lyrics on there. Okay, you got the camera angle good. Okay, say something important. Don't say something about how you're trying to say something. Okay, so now September 24th, here's me recording a song that's basically the entire opposite vibe of the one that just played, but I'll just play a little snippet of that, because I actually finished this song, and I want to release it, but just not quite yet at this point, I don't think. Because I want to do, different voice inflections, kind of, with this one. Same realm of, solar self type deal, but I want it to be in its own regard entirely.
Lonely people make art, do drugs, or go to steeples. Bullshit girl, no good with no evil bloodlines between solid needles. Rolling my voice through the bass cave, rolling my joints like a screen. Scratch tables in the dank table, stack of paper gon' take staples. Speak that truth, gotta go through my first scenic views. Thought that I was busting just the feedback, dude. Ask the bees, he's got germs, really sweet with honey tea, giving it 100%. 100% G's, this is something like 50-50, but fumbling a point just to pick it up and get it run.
Yeah, Chuck, starting spiffy, hustle never stops like construction in the city. The wires in my desktop bust a little busy. I liked parts of that, but not the whole thing for certain. And I didn't even listen back to the whole thing.
Lines between like tornadoes. But I was thinking I do want to record myself making beats more and make it like a videos out of that, because I think that's interesting. Or stream or something, I don't know, but okay, later.
Big staples, speak that truth. Gotta go through mud for the. So then after I recorded that, I decided that I should try another idea, and I should preface with the emphasis on try, because it didn't really turn into much of anything. I just had an idea that I thought might be fun, that I don't think that I've seen. So basically, I just want to try to see if I can like find something that creates AI music, because there's a lot of talk about AI generated pictures. You could input like a picture and then it like spit out some type of song. And I guess I need to figure out what image I want to upload. They have samples over here, the sounds of Kirby committing text problems. I'll go through whatever photos I have on here. Maybe the most recent one, maybe this bridge photo, whatever it sets it up as. I wasn't even recording myself with it, but anyway, I don't know. Okay, so let's go ahead and check it out. And it gives me option to download it. Very cool. Well, let's play it first.
Excuse me. Oh, there's water. This is a Fraser. I wonder if it'll switch it. This is the soundtrack to like a video game. I guess I was thinking like Metroid or something. We're at 35 seconds. What is going on? I need 1 year out, dude. This is intense.
But it could be like some drill stuff. Okay, I'm gonna jump forward a little bit, maybe. Well, I'll go ahead and download it though, regardless, I guess.
But basically, I couldn't really tell if it was actually like artificially made or how it really worked. I didn't know if they like just pulled from other songs. And also, I think sometimes the way that I overwhelm myself is feeling that the next video that I make has to explain all of the main thoughts that I have been trying to.
We'll try it again. Let's find a different picture first. I want something smooth. Ooh, let's see what this does. This flower right here. Not what I was expecting. Kinda cool.
You know, it's like when you make the train cart made of wooden planks. Sometimes ideas fall through the cracks. So that's just how it goes. And I still think it was an interesting process. You know, me trying to listen through these songs.
I could do something with it.
I was thinking that there might have been like a database of ones that they just like, you know, selected and
There's
like
some spot to it. There's some special with it. I've always told myself, really thought and believed that I can sample any single sound, you know, find a use for it.
And I do want to make it clear that I think I could make something really crazy dope out of all these samples, but I just didn't feel like it. Okay, I can sample anything, but I just if I don't want to, then you know I'm not gonna force myself to do anything. You know, these are imaginary pressures because it's like, oh, I want to talk about this thing, I want to talk about the farm, I want to talk about the work, I want to talk about the relationship. Like, there's all these things, but I know just maybe little bits at a time.
Again, I'm like thinking about how AI is this? Like, how is this even working? I would love something that hasn't been used before, but obviously stuff like this has to be pulled from different samples. But I guess my questions are, how far is it distorting it from the original, like...
Okay, so I continued to try to film for a bit, but I'm going to go ahead and jump to the next day on the card, September 25th, doodling something that I did end up finishing a few days later, so I'll include a little picture of that. And I actually finished coloring that while I was at work, so I could explain maybe where I work now. Actually, I think it's time for another little acoustic song. This one I never posted at all. I guess we gotta go to that one.
Well, I'm still just practicing because I think I want to do it in like an actual duet of it, but I think just to have, because I can't read lyrics while doing that duet. Unless I write them out, I don't feel like doing that though. My glass of sunshine spilling on the pavement, swept away, blessed. My glass of sunshine spilling on the pavement, just swept away, blessed day for quiet contemplation. Headspace drawing us on constellations, connect bases, lessons in every conversation. Where I can get perspective in a calm escape. feeling still partially anxious. I like the sky when it's an umbrella shades, and only inside I like the ambiance of rain. Why am I always waiting for something? Are you alright with this? We've been drifting apart, but you can alright with it. And I don't need no oxygen, just freestyling the whip. And this is simple things, cause I like how it fits. So I'm in the place, walk up things, best me the fragrances. No matter situation, sometimes it all starts a mess. And yeah, ignore the weight again, maintain my stableness. Are you all in this? Cause you're the only one who's heard those songs that I did. And why you feel so far? Is this all that there is? Okay, so now we're into September 30th. There's this little solo sessioning. I kind of explained it in the video, actually, I think. Kind of my first time jamming with this little piece. Just got it today. Very excited, very cool. Awesome. You know what? The first real gift. So this clip was about 12 minutes, so I think I'm gonna chop through the parts or play it at 2 times speed, even though this was my first time playing it synth, really. You know, and I've been learning it so much since I filmed this video that now I kind of cringe at me just kind of like mindlessly fiddling knobs. But, you know, that's all part of the process. And I did do my research before purchasing, you know, since this was kind of like my first, you know, bigger purchase since working at this new job. It was after about 2 months. For transparency, it was a little over $300, which was about a week of work for me. And I am part-time, so it was about like 20 hours. So you could do the math. Oh, and at this part, Lil Rossi is confused because I have earbuds in. But I think he could smell that some music was being cooked up. So, you know, I was locked into the zone. All I was focused on was the sounds flowing between my little knob switch. And I wasn't really thinking about anything at the point of filming, but then immediately after I recorded the video and listened back, I started writing this and was kind of trying to figure out what to do with it. So the future of me writing the script is kind of infinite when having the realization to write. So my first question was, well, what would I even talk about? You know, I'd probably want to start it with a little explanation of the video and idea that eventually led to the question of me asking this and turning it meta, because so far the only information is self-fed. So I'll work with what I got. We got a little knob that says cycling envelope, which sounds like a neat name for a paper boy, you know, cycling envelope. Then I realized that I hadn't really seen a biking kid delivering newspapers ever. You know, it must have been like something before my existence. But that does remind me, I did have an idea for a project called Delivery Boy for like a mixtape. It was like, I think I thought of that sometime in high school or something like that, but just obviously never did anything with it. But that did make me now think that I could fill this voice over time, kind of maybe talking out some other album idea names that I never used. So I got this little list of them here. So I got this little list of album idea names. First one is Wizard of Cause. I remember somebody recommended this to me, because Cause. I remember somebody recommended this to me. It was like senior year, and I remember for some reason we were at like this bowling party for Honor Society or something, and one of my friends was like, "Yo, you should do like Wizard of Cause," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And I thought then later, that was before I even left for college, and then I thought it applied more. The album The Cozy Show was almost kind of going to be named that, because it was like, oh, my first year at college, there's no place like home sort of vibes. But then I realized that I really liked being away from home, I think. I don't know. Another idea is Co's Lab of Collabs. I think that's kind of neat. Maybe I'll still do something with this. I don't know. Even any of these, maybe I'll end up naming something it. So, you know, me saying it now doesn't mean that it's never going to be used. This one I thought of, like, I remember it was early high school. Indiana Co's Raiders of the Lost Art. So that's like a little double pun that I thought was kind of neat. And actually, I still think that's kind of funny. And also, I stayed a month in Indiana on a farm the past just this previous summer. Once again, I have videos where I talk about it, but not on this SD card, so I'm not going to bring that up, even though I just kind of did. Okay, so we got another name here, Daffodil, and then Delusion, which I kind of ended up using. Oh, and then you also have Dilemma, just a lot of dill puns. Oh, and then I have Incoherence, which I did actually end up using. This was
This note is a little bit old, copy and pasted from a note on my phone. But yeah, then we have Dill Land Before Time. It's almost like Duh Land Before Time, but also Dill Land. And I used to really love that show. I don't know if anybody remembers the song. It was like
Deep, deep water.
I think about that very often when I see deep water. So that's kind of fun. Let's go to the next name. Co's to the Crossfader. That one was thought of in like college because I remember hearing about we read a poem that was like ode to the Crossfaders, and I was like, I guess ode sounds close enough to Co's that I could just, I don't know. Then we got Pendulum, just another classic Dill one. You know, it's you know. I mean, you kind of know how it goes. Oh, and then I realized that dill eat, like delete something, it sounds like dill eat, like I'm eating something, so I thought that was funny. Clydesdale. Oh, and you can also spell my name rearranging the words Linda, so I thought that was kind of cool. But again, I don't really know what I would like use that for. Ooh. And then I also had some ideas here, boxes and like shoebox. Because I always like the idea of like me breaking out of the box, so to speak. And I've like referred to that in a lot of different things, but never quite, you know. And I think I even have a song that ended up being called Boxes, but again, I just never really did much else with it. Oh, and then I have a note here that says the old mixtape, the first one I ever made in middle school was called Undeniable, and I do remember it on my computer, like the little track list of it and having it all sorted. But it's probably like those old songs are the only ones that like I have been the only one to hear like any of it, because so many of them I was just, when I was learning how to do it, I just wouldn't share. I ended up posting some to YouTube, but again, I don't like mentioning it. It makes me a little sad, the fact that that old hard drive, those songs are like somewhere on that hard drive, and I still have it from like the old PC, like way back in the day. So I think about, you know, I actually even recently tried to like take it in again, but they said it was like $700 or something just to even get the idea of like if they could fix it, and they were like, you got to pay that regardless, even if we can't do anything. So I was like, bro, I don't want to do that. Okay, so I think, well, that's all I had planned for. So that's all I had planned for like the little synth part of the video. So I guess now I'll try to reframe into some other section of this. Let's try to find it. I'm just trying to film all the voiceover. I'm trying to film all the voiceover clips like at the same tree, just because I think that'd be fun.
Oh yeah, and I also wanted to add, I even used a few beats already in this video that I created with the little synth.
And actually, I think probably even like 3 full songs that like the basis of the instruments were made from the synth, you know? So it's been a nice way to like really change my approach to how I like go about making music these days. And I don't really think that I'll be like making any bigger purchases like that like anytime in the future. Again, that's like a rare thing for me. So I think it's I just try to really make the most of what I have. And I was even kind of recently talking with a coworker about how like it's not a requirement to like go like full like gearhead mode, you know, doing a bunch of like purchase, because you can kind of work with anything you have. Like there's no reason to go making like crazy purchases, like because these like $1 million synthesizer isn't gonna like, you know, propel your songs to like a whole nother level that like something that like a couple hundred, I don't know, maybe it will. I guess I've never seen $1 million synth, but like
Alright, that might be enough recording it for now. But I'm gonna try to actually learn what I'm doing, because honestly, it's probably obvious, but I'm just goofing around trying to see what sounds cool. Some stuff to work from in that little 11-minute recording session. So I'm gonna listen through and see what we got.
Create a picture of me, but I've always had the problem, like ever since I was little, like always only feeling like the truest version of myself when I'm alone with my thoughts, because I'm able to like express it in the most clear, like in my own brain, and they always felt so abstract. Like even these words can't even like fully articulate like these little like symbols and shapes of what my thoughts and feelings are, you know. But at least I'm trying to be better about it, and I think I have been getting better, and even just being more open with people in general, and just trying to make those like human connections that, like, you know. Okay, I saw somebody far over there, so I had to take a break. But I think I'm almost done with the voiceover, so I'm not bailing now. Okay, so now we're at October 4th, finally painting this sculpture, 3 weeks after constructing the base of it earlier in the video. Oh, nice little train sound in the background. You know, that feels fitting. Also, I was thinking that there is a song that I made a few months ago that is released called SD Cards, and I thought it could kind of fit the theme of this video. Of course, not well enough to actually be the theme song, but I think it could be some nice little montage music. So that's what I'm gonna play during the painting of it.
I got SD cards full of memories, and it's forever hard for me to ever see them cringe and think they don't represent me. Some of them I've never seen. I'm just letting it be as I keep feeling more. Think eventually I'll make something from them. It's okay.
Okay, that's enough of the song. You know, I don't want Nala Trazek to go copyright strike in this video, you know. There I go, detaching from self again. Okay, so now that was actually the same day I started recording the first completed song with the synth that I made 5 days after. And I'll play the first minute of it, so it still feels like low-key and like kept to self, a little bit secret.
It's all a little bit motion based, just a little bit bunch of weight. A little sign up, but my life just made me flex in waves. Just a little much, okay. Trying to turn internals to eternal. Trying to learn as I interpret my externals. Indeterminate next hurdles. I'll get to earning my medals. Started living worlds in my test journals.
That's so funny. And again, I'll release the song soon, but I think just not quite yet.
Insert tale of a curious meerkat. Bad up the trees, that's just peers if they care about themselves.
So then we got October 11th. I was working on a different idea that I'll kind of skip over. But hey, it's also the day I got the sculpture hand puppet creature done. So that's fun, you know. And then I started filming it and did that little video that barely any saw, but I thought it was fun doing it. So that's what it's all about. This is my first time. Also, I had to make a way that I could like move the mouth to talk it, and I didn't really want to just cut it, so I first tried yarn and like wrapping it around, but then I cut the camera and then just cut holes so then I could just go through the hand hole. Okay, so now we're at October 14th, another song that I'm also very private about, so I'm only going to play some of the rough first draft of unedited vocal as I, you know, sing through it, so yeah, maybe that'll make me feel okay about showing that song.
Used to think I could change the world if I wrote the right songs about it. Guess there's still a chance I'm not wrong, but I doubt it. I should've learned how to.
Alright, so now we're at the part of the video where the timeline is. You know, I got to the version of me that I opened with where I was talking out and thinking out this idea. Once again, my thoughts lead to like observing the videos, like in nature shots and everything. Like making the story out of it, the one that I always like hear in my head. So I think that means that the rest of this footage is kind of nature footage that I took trying to add some background footage to this, but maybe I didn't use it all, so I guess I'll just kind of go through and see wherever. As you can see, I'm still trying to like figure out and work through this idea. I feel like I've like, you know, narrated and explained enough throughout, so maybe I won't kind of anymore and just kind of let things run their course through. Always feeling like my words aren't important, or like just feeling invisible, like people don't understand me, so I feel like I need to be like quiet and like to myself, but then finally branching out of that like throughout all the years of schooling and everything, and then being the vocal one, but then almost feeling more invisible than ever while being on the forefront of attentions. Like, there was a weird shift in that where I do remember, like, pretty vividly being like, oh dang, like, I'm trying to be what I think is my truest version of myself, but all it's doing is putting me in front of more people's perspectives for me to overthink their perceptions of me, and then, like, you know, feel like I'm even a lesser version of myself than I was when I was quiet.
You know, it's like, do I really need to add a voiceover for a half-eaten peanut butter sandwich on a park bench? You know, do I have to give like any reasoning for why I tried to film it so cinematic, as if the sandwich was the star of the show all along? You know, and maybe it was. You know, it's just a little dude enjoying nature. You know, sticking to what he knows, because peanut butter stick. And maybe some think that he's nuts, but you know, he's just doing what he can to get the bread. So really think about kind of what I want to do with this video, because part of me is thinking chronological, just go from the start of it. It was like September 14th, so it could be like, it's just when I know when I really lock myself into like a creative project like that, and then like I have to be all in it, and plus I'd like to like be enjoying it, obviously, and I guess feeling like it presents me in a way that I'm comfortable with, I guess. Even looking back, once again, I'm trying not to just not overthink as much. Sometimes I find myself creating that like imaginary pressure that's in my head, is what I kind of call it. It's like these anxieties and worries. And of course, there's a lot of very real concerns and such, but there's also ways to frame everything with the mindset of like, you know, we're trying. And okay, most people have the benefit of the doubt. They're like, everybody's trying to do what they think is the best thing, you know, but just want to keep on practicing at stuff like that. I just want to keep practicing at the music, keep practicing at the video editing, at the like animation, like whatever so may be. I just want to keep on feeling like I'm trying to evolve myself. And I finished my second book of the year. And I guess I'm just thinking, like, when I document myself a lot of times like this, I think more so it's just for me to feel like I'm making moments valuable, you know, that I'm not taking things for granted. Because sometimes I do think it's somewhat interesting when I watch back through little clips and stuff of me in the past talking, because it's like, oh, I can think about those moments when I was there. Like, it feels so real to reminisce, even if it's sometimes minutes or even weeks or months or whatever it is, you know. And sometimes it does make me sad too, but it's also like I want to make stories out of it. And I think it's always been easy for me to like feel like I'm taking things for granted or something, you know. But I am so appreciative of, you know, just how beautiful everything is, and to be raised in a world that had undergone so much crazy technological advancement, and like it's overwhelming. And I can think about those moments when I was younger and stuff too, and like certain memories and just wholesome bits of things that I think about, you know. So I'm gonna stop at a park on the way back also, so I'll hopefully be able to get some cool little scenery, camera videos of some of that. A lot of times it really is like, you know, like it's all been in the same now moment, so to speak. Like it's all... Yeah, I think I was getting tired of that angle too, and I was going too far away from the camera, so... I guess I was just saying that it makes sense to... But things just get so busy and caught up, and I've just been busy with work too. This was a well-needed break though, but I am kind of excited to get back to it. Like, I've thankfully been really enjoying this job. So I guess that does kind of transition into, maybe I should sort of talk about what I actually do for work now. I don't know why I made it like so suspenseful. I think I just wanted there to be like just another thread that would like then get resolved later on, so it felt like there was some sort of cohesivity. But here, I guess I'll set up the camera angle one more time, because I think all I have left in this note is to talk about that. So that's actually kind of nice.
So basically, I work between a couple branches of the library that is in my hometown, and it's actually been really nice. You know, I've been enjoying it a lot. There's like a little department that I work in that's like the creative experience, so I'm able to kind of work on my own little projects while helping people with theirs. A lot of people, they'll come in just kind of use the computer for whatever, but there are some who like they have like the little studio and stuff too that they record through. Also, I should mention, if there are like friends who want to like use the studio, then let me know, because we can like set something up like that. But I'm always like private about, you know, my personal life, and I don't like to make it too public, so I don't want like random people to show up, which is kind of nice that I don't have like that many crazy amount of followers, so I don't have to really worry about that. But also, I'll say, since I'm part-time, there's probably only like a 30% chance that I'm even like working, and plus split between 3 branches, so there's like a 10%. You'd have to go like 10 times to even catch me one at a time. So again, you know, hopefully that'll deter anybody away. Once again, if you do want to like set something up, then just message.
Do you ever wonder like how we were created?
Oh, using a 3D printer in the St. Louis Public Library Creative Experience.
Oh, well then how are we able to talk?
Edited using Adobe Premiere, one of the many applications that the library computers also offer.
Well then what about the song playing in the background of all? There's no way that that's also
Made in the studio of the St.
Louis Public Library. I get it. Okay,
Yeah.
wait, so this all must be very expensive, right?
Nope, absolutely free with the library card.
Nothing is free.
Oh, well, I mean, there's time spent to learn the program, so I guess time is money, but I mean, I think it's worth it.
Wait, so you're saying you created me and us?
I mean, I guess so in some perspective or another.
I don't know, man. I've been enjoying it. I've had a lot of jobs in the past, and most of which I didn't really enjoy, so it's nice to feel, not only like a little community that it feels like we understand each other, but also like being able to help people. And it's like a public library, so like there's a lot of different types of all sorts of every type of people, really. So it's very interesting, and as well as inspirational. Again, I just always try to do my best. There's little moments sometimes it's a little stressful, but like I work through it. And get things done, and it's cool. They got I've like 3D printed some stuff, large format printed, so it's like, it's nice to feel like I've, been like evolving, in a sense of like just to myself, and not really worrying about like trying to document everything, and like, I don't know, just live each day like to the best of my abilities, one little step at a time, do my little projects, and just try to make the most of things. I really hope I'm able to stick with it, because I know there's also been like jobs. I think I've already stuck with it longer than my past job. It was only like a month or so. It's nice to, feel mostly happy these days, I think, and I get through my little phases. Sometimes I'm really overwhelmed. Sometimes, it's always the waves of it, but like, more often than not, I feel like I'm, just doing what I can. And then I have one last little note that I wrote early on, before I even wrote the script, I think. I do really hope that I can do this video, address that I'm not fully confident in it. I do have a little outline and concept prepared. And I wanted to do like a weekly thing. That was kind of like the other thing, because I have some other like concepts of drafts that I've been working on that I think I really want to release, but I guess, and I do believe in myself, but I think I should also apologize that if I don't like keep up with any, like, if I don't keep up with the schedule, then I'll still post things, I guess, just when I do. And I don't think they'll all be this long. Maybe the next ones will just be like short, because this one's probably pretty complicated, because I still have to edit through all this, and then like chop it together. I just kind of want to give myself like the space to breathe, and also be able to have like genuine fun while creating it, and just like working through the concepts. But I know I need to also like create some limitations for myself, and like at least just do what I can. So that's the end of this one. Oh, and then in the note I have episode 2. So right now I have nothing written for that. It's October 24th, so I have about a week until I think I wanted to post this. I think I could do it. I believe in myself. Sometimes after I record for like a super long time, at the very end of it, I feel like I need to say something like significant to wrap it all together, but I'm just kind of tired of talking, so I think I'm just going to kind of call this what it is. It was an hour of recording today, so I guess we'll see what this turns into. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. If you got to this point. It's hard to like try to frame my brain into thinking about like after I look through, because I kind of skim through the videos, like what is going to be like a conclusion of it, or whatever. And it doesn't have to be anything like too like philosophical. I guess I always try to make it like borderline philosophical, because I don't know, that's what I like, you know. I like the ideas of the questioning and just trying to figure things out, you know.
Train of thought never rides along the